Hello and welcome back. All right, so I'm going to continue with the Schumann resonance from yesterday, but I also wanted to touch on something. I just want to pull up my notes about it, so we'll get back to that in a minute. Just want to have those ready. Okay, so yesterday we saw that huge spiking of energy. We discussed what that meant, what that will bring up for us, the shedding of old beliefs, letting go of stagnant energy, dense energies, personal truths that no longer serve the new you. Right. And what's important is when we get this afterwards, these blackouts, some people like to consider those blackouts like timeline shifts. But what it is it's extreme solar energy and it's blacking out the communication systems. So you could think of it like that on a spiritual, energetic level, that we are shifting timelines because you're not the same person anymore. Now, if you repeat old cycles, if you repeat old comfort zones, if you repeat anything that this last week or so of realizations and processing, and you don't apply the new concept into your reality now, today is the day. Today, the next couple days, you don't apply that during this calm energy, it will be lost to you. Meaning you may cycle back. You may have to repeat this cycle again. Because everything, you can have a shit ton of aha moments and processing realizations, right? But if you do not immediately apply them into your lifestyle directly, they don't exist. Your thoughts, your ideas, your concepts, they don't exist unless you bring them into this tangible reality. So what does that look like for you on a personal level? Were you shown a big moment of a need for yourself, and that means cutting communication with something or someone? Or are you realizing that a personal truth that you didn't realize was kind of the driver's seat for a lot of your actions? And you recognized conscientiously this power that was driving you, that this personal truth is not actually universal truth. It's just a program. It's programmed, downloaded into you by someone else, or even downloaded into you by yourself based off of the situation and circumstance that you went through. You conceptualized it the best you could to save yourself. Pause on that note because I want to bring this up too real quick. So enter this statement. Low self-worth isn't a personal flaw. It's a coping strategy that begins during times in life where you didn't receive adequate care, so you learn to blame yourself as a way to feel more in control. That is something that I woke up to the last couple days, and I've recognized that within myself. That, it's not that placing blame helps the situation at all. It doesn't. But to turn that back towards yourself, to turn the weapon on oneself, it does get you through the survivalist aspect of that trauma, of that inadequate care. And if you can take that into your own situation, in your own hands, then you feel like you have control again. So this could look like self-deprecation, it could look like addiction. This can look like a lot of different things. For me personally, it was the addiction of drugs, alcohol, bad connections, things like that, because my brain was trying to make sense of my own pain. So, and if I caused it myself, it made more sense to me because I didn't really understand the roots. I didn't know how to trace those back. Now that leads into my next point, which my notes I was talking about earlier. Now, enter the internet. How do I explain this? All right. So, when you do that, you self-blame, self-criticize, and you take on that weight, that becomes your reality, right? And the people that are attracted to you in that reality and the situations and the circumstances all feed off of that root feeling of inadequacy. So what you will attract into your life is more things to make you feel inadequate, incapable. Also, more things to make you feel like you can blame yourself, right? It's my fault, my fault, my fault. So, and with those blinders, you then create a reality that you then adopt as truth for the entirety of the world. You now believe that everybody goes through what you're going through, or the people around you are all of the people. That these people that cannot be trusted, now all people cannot be trusted. And this becomes a personal truth, which is truth to you at that circumstance, at that time period. So that's why I'm segueing right now into the internet, because I went my whole 20s up until about 26 maybe with inconsistent or not at all access to, pretty much no access to the internet. A little bit up until 21 or 22, and then right after that, just downfall. No, just blackout. So the reality I created was based off of my one-track understanding of things, which is based off of my own pain and trauma. So I'm already starting to build a lifestyle reminiscent of hell on earth, right? Because that's what's in here, so that's what comes out. Going back to what I was talking about earlier about applying the applicable knowledge to your reality. It goes the same way. You can change your reality by applying the aha moment and processing, and you could also change your reality by remaining tunnel visioned and echoing.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Echoing the.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Your mind. So when I was 26, I think that was around the time, maybe 27, that I had bought a iPhone off of a girl at a job I used to work at because the screen was shattered and she didn't want it anymore. So I bought that off of her, and then I got the screen fixed. And then I hooked that puppy up to Wi-Fi. And I started down the rabbit hole of social media, right? Not really then did it really hit me. It wasn't really until COVID and, people were really relying on the social media. But I did not know there were different ways to live until access to this internet lifestyle, which is blowing my mind a little bit because it just goes to show you how powerful your brain is. That I could create a reality that is so untrue to the existence of all is that I could literally, I created that based off my own personal beliefs, my own personal truths. Here's my notes about it. So yeah, life before connection to the internet supported tunnel vision beliefs and disconnection from new people outside of the ones who are already in the repetition of your cycles. This is all you see. This is all you know. The world has become small and fickle based off your own personal reality of situation. You believe that what you see is your day-to-day, that what you see in your day-to-day is the totality of the world and society. Getting caught up in your own personal truths, painting life one monochrome color at a time. And what a time to be alive. That we have unlimited, infinite access to all of the knowledge that's ever been thought, thunk, theorized, conceptualized, ever in this box. Are we utilizing it appropriately? Are we detoxing our timelines? Are we only having things of inspiration, encouragement, things that support self-mastery, maybe even religion, whatever it is that inspires and encourages you? Why is that not all you see? because that's what I'm going to hark on today, because that should be all you see. If you see hatred, if you see fear, if you see anything, bullying, any of that on your timeline right now, if you go to open your phone and that's what you see, fix it. Fix it immediately, because this has been one of the biggest and best tools for this self-mastery and self-healing journey in aspect of rate of speed. Like, before, I was like slowly figuring it out. It was very slow, but you have no comparison. You have no hope to hang on to. You have nobody inspiring you. You have nobody showing you that you can, or whatever the case may be, because all you see is the people that are attracted to your low vibrational frequency. You're not seeing outside of that reality. And with the internet, with social media, and with this day and age of technology, we really should be evolving way faster on a personal level. If you're just using that phone to distract and be mindless and cheap dopamine, you're doing it wrong. You can make your social media sites and your phone your self-mastery, support, and accountability. You really can. Everything is your choice. You are not a victim of social media. You're not a victim of TikTok. Oh, I just got stuck scrolling for an hour. No, you don't get stuck. Those are choices to be made. If you're gonna get stuck on Bible verses, home dog, or inspirational quotes from Don Miguel Ruiz, or monks. Buddhist monks even have freaking Facebook pages now. If these things aren't on your docket and you still don't understand why you're not evolving, are you not building a lifestyle that supports your evolutionary growth in all aspects? Your diet, your exercise, your mental health practices, your cell phone, what you eat, what you read, what you watch, everything is funneling back into self. And that's why, in my opinion, people completely forget about the integration part of their aha moments and processing realizations. Because you can have it, boom, and the next thing is you're here and you're scrolling and you did not apply, you completely forgot about it, and it wasn't introduced into your world in any type of way. And that's a lot of what's holding us back now from this advanced evolutionary state that COVID really kicked us into, because of the lack of physical connection, which in my opinion was a blessing, because I think a lot of us needed to cut out what was going on in our lives, people-wise, and open up to new avenues of peopling, of ideas, of concepts. Whoever's not using this as a tool, it is becoming a hindrance. It is a hindrance. The internet, social media, things of this nature, it's not, I don't know what people think it's for, but it's a tool. These are tools. And what do we find through human connectivity, community? What do we get through community? Knowledge, learning, sharing, filling in each other's missing spaces. The puzzle pieces come together inside of community. And we forget about that in our waking moments. It's also hard to find other people in our waking moments. Maybe our neighbors or people that are right outside our door aren't really on that same wavelength. So once again, we adopt that as a personal truth. We then condemn the entire society as being those who do not want the community. And we believe it. And we stick to that truth real hard. And we never fix it. We never proactively change. Exactly. So I believe social media and the internet has really done us a justice in that form of connection, to learn new information, to share information. Somebody asked me once, because they didn't understand this concept, they were like, why do I have to tell someone when I learn something new? It seems trivial. I was like, does it? I was like, here we go. Here's a perfect example. I used peppermint essential oil or something along that nature. I was making something with peppermint oil, And right afterwards, I washed my hands, but maybe I just rinsed them, not like a whole full soap. And then I took my contacts out, or I went to go put my contacts in. The burn I felt from that was like the entire radiation of the sun just in my cornea. Like, and I said, you're a contact wearer, right? She's like, yeah. I said, don't use peppermint oil before you put your contacts in. And she's like, wow, that's actually really needed to know that because I have a diffuser. And I often put eucalyptus and peppermint in my diffuser. And I was like, oh yeah, eucalyptus is even worse than the eyeball. And she's like, wow, I didn't know I needed to know that, but I did. And I was like, exactly. You never know what you have learned is applicable to others until you talk about it, until you share it with your community. My first thought was, how many people do I know who wear contacts and I need to send out a group message right now? Because I didn't think about that. And that's evolutionary growth. But when we trick ourselves into believing that all to be known is already known, which is a lie, we stop seeking that knowledge. We stop seeking sharing that connection as well, which does our entire humanity a disservice. But also, the best teacher is often a student. So when the student learns something and then teaches it, that is you applying it into your life in a way. Also, making action as well, but sometimes just teaching it can be enough. But the best teachers are always students. Always. You never become unteachable. If you do, you might as well start decomposing, because what's the rest of your life here for? Like, what's your point? Because I've noticed that. My personal teachings become even stronger if I remain questioning, right? If I keep seeking questions or just having questions. I'm not really seeking anything. It's just like, because 3 years ago, even a year ago, the things that I believed have now compounded. They are now double what they were in belief. They have changed and evolved, and I need to evolve with them. So, going back to the Schumann resonance and now being a time of calmer energy, not so much incoming, it's kind of just fizzling, it's settling, it's neutralizing. The earth is trying to neutralize this energy. So are you. You're processing, you're neutralizing. Apply it now. What'd you learn? Right? What did you learn? What do you need to do to better proactively live your lifestyle to support the new you? Not the you of a year ago, but not the you of even a week ago. The you that is now after all of this incoming energy and upgrading processing systems. Because we actually did go through that a week before we started getting these huge incoming energy spikes. Our structures, our brain systems, our processing core, I like to think of it like that, has been upgraded. I felt it the day it happened. I felt it because I went like this. And then afterwards I was like, woof, and I was like back on my game. So something got re-downloaded. Something got increased. So my gigabyte width span, whatever I can handle at once, has largened, which is it's supposed to. Every year you evolve. How much new information have you freaking sucked in the last year? Especially if you're using your tools correctly. Should be a lot. It's time for a complete restructuring of your molecular structure, your neural pathways, everything. So what worked for you even a week ago ain't gonna work for you no more. And for me personally, it comes out in the form of tantrums, because it's always little me that I gotta work with sometimes, And so it comes out with like, oh, this is hard, this is out of my comfort zone, I'm scared, I'm nervous, but instead it's gonna come out like, and I have to work through that. Because that doesn't mean I'm doing something wrong. It means I'm on the verge of a breakthrough, because the arrow is always pulled back before it's shot forward. So I know, and that's why I'm confidently telling you that this is the time. You are being pulled back, you're being shot forward. You cannot take with you forward the things that have been holding that arrow back for too long. It's supposed to be a quick draw. And maybe this trigger finger's been a little too long because there's heaviness, there's weight attached to that back, and we got to loosen the drop the weights, kind of. Drop the weights to allow the arrow to soar. So you could hang out in this position for a very long time until you trust that letting go of that weight is going to throw you forward. Also, you might know that and trust that. Know that when you let go of this weight, you're going to be shot forward. But you know what's the second scary thing? Not just the acknowledgement and awareness of the weights that need to be cut. Who are you after that? That's terrifying. You've built this semblance of self based off of all those weights, unconsciously not even recognizing that some of them were self-deprecating, not good for you, toxic, harmful, because you didn't have that knowledge of self yet, but you've gained that knowledge of self now. And it's scary to let go of those old weights because they're comfort zones. Comfort zone doesn't actually mean it's comfy. Like for me, I think all fuzzy blankets, right? But your comfort zone can also just be whatever you keep repeating because your brain's comfy with that. So when you abolish a comfort zone like that, like I always talk about expanding your comfort zone, and now I'm talking about abolishing your comfort zone because there's two different comfort zones. There's a comfort zone that's like, fleece blankies and like self-care. And then there's the comfort, and that's the one you should constantly be expanding, the self-care one. But then there's the comfort zone of just plain old repetition of habit. And that's comfortable for your brain, and those need to be broken. And those are going to feel shitty to break. It's going to be very uncomfortable, but that's why you rely heavily on this. But then you expand that by adding to this self-care structure of comfort zone what you need to overcome the abolishment of repetition comfort zone. So for me personally, that looks like my whole routine is now like different right now. We got the workout thing going. We're eating better. We're being more mindful, conscientious about the mind, body, spirit, the whole totality of things now. Whereas I'll be honest, in the beginning of my journey, all I focused on was the mind and spirit. I couldn't even conceptualize making my body do hard shit. I had to get these puppies on board. And once I felt that connection back, I felt like I eradicated demonic possession in a sense. It kind of felt like that. Once I felt how I do now, over this last year of this, me getting my mind and spirit in a good place, in a place where I have tools and acknowledgement and self-awareness, yeah, that even stagnated. And my mental health was not doing well now. And now things were happening. And I was getting frustrated at stuff. And blah, blah, blah. And there was too much stagnancy in my day. Right. Because that's the signal for the next evolution of growth. So if I focused heavily on those two aspects of self for a very long time, the last 6, 7, 8 years, now it's time to add that body part. That's what this evolution is constantly getting us to do. To master a part of self, to then unlock the next door of what you need to master. You're not going to know that, though, 30,000 doors away. You just have to keep opening doors until that next door is labeled body, or that next label that next door is labeled bam, like new job or whatever it is. But you don't know until you cross through the door behind it. So you can only focus on what's right in front of you at that time. And if anything, that was the most helpful thing I did for myself. Because when I looked at it in totality, I said this is hopeless. Because it was. Fresh off addiction, my body's in shambles, my mind's in shambles, my spirit was disconnected from my body. And you want me to go work out? Okay, I'd rather just not. You know what I mean? And that's why, in my opinion, because I do believe in God, God gives you one door at a time. It's the human condition to overwhelm ourselves and look at the window, the doors in the other room, blah, blah. Why are they all open? They're not. They're not revealed to you yet because you have not mastered the last level of self. It's very much like a video game, guys. So much like a video game. And You ain't gonna get to the next level until you complete all the quests in this level and beat the final boss and then get the loot you need and the XP, and then you go to the next level. And this is the final boss for this year, summer solstice, final boss time. Now, if you beat the final boss and you don't pick up all the loot, the heck did you do that for? So now you're going into level 3 without the tools that you earned from level 2. That is not applying. That's what it means to not apply what you've learned. So pick up the shit and apply it into the next level. Take what is being learned, write it down. For instance, personally, I came up with this affirmation. Affirmations, another way to apply what you're learning, your aha moments, because you're bringing them from non-reality, imagination, into tangible written reality. That's why words and the written word is so powerful. So I let go of comfort that stagnates my progress and growth. I expand my comfort zone to inhabit my new routines of growth as comfortable. And add my self-care comfort zone. There you go. Let you guys read that. Sorry about the ring light. I let go of comfort that stagnates my progress and growth. I expand my self-care comfort zone to inhabit my new routines of growth as comfortable. Because that's just something that ahaed for me, right? Also, the recognition of which I should write down, remind me. Also, my other recognition of healing. Because when you journal that down, it becomes easier. Because I already feel the connection of that pain from my past, and I can feel how it's coming up in my reality, in my present. That's great. Once again, though, it doesn't freaking exist. So before this window closes, I'm going to journal it out. I'm going to mark, map, and move it, but on paper, not just in my mind. And I'm going to bring it into reality so I can work with it. Because there's a lot of things that are encompassing here, and a lot of emotions that are coming up, and a lot of personality traits and personal truths that are coming up that because of that memory. So, application doesn't exist just in here. You gotta bring it in here. You gotta bring it into your tangible reality, whether that looks like a new routine, whether that means pushing yourself for a new self-mastery accomplishment, which you should always be doing, but like I said, there's no rush. That door isn't gonna open until you master it. So just going back to video games. So you enter a room in a video game, you search everywhere. If you were to enter a room like this in, let's say, Skyrim or another Adventure Quest kind of game, you would go to these shelves and you would see if there was anything on these shelves that are loot, something that you could take, something that you could use. You would go over here, you'd look at that picture, make sure it's not a map or something. So my point is, you need to explore the entirety of the room of self before you're able to unlock the door. You could unlock the door and go through it without exploring the vastness of self, you're not going to get the next stage. You're not going to have the tools as you need, because in video games they hide the thing you need for the next door in this room. So that's life. That's self-mastery. The key to the door is already here inside of yourself. You have to find it. And that means looking at all the dark crevices, all the shadows of your mind, all the boxes of stored memories and emotions you've suppressed. Your box could have upgraded by now. It starts as a cardboard box that you constantly have to keep maintaining. So in the beginning, it's very distracting. Then after time, you upgrade that box and you go, you know what? The cardboard keeps getting moist and deteriorating, so let me get a steel box. Enter heaviness. Do you see how that visual is showing you what happens to suppressed emotion over time, you literally become heavy because you're trying to protect yourself from the memory, but in turn you're killing your purpose. Much like phytoplankton. Phytoplankton calcify themselves so that they don't overpopulate, right? They overcalcify so that they're not getting as much photosynthesis, but then they can go overboard. There's a balance to everything. And if they overcalcify to an extent, they sink to the bottom of the pond, the lake, the body of water, and they no longer do their job, which is photosynthesis. So human beings, we have that with suppressed emotion. So we have to eradicate these suppressed emotions, feel these emotions, and then write it down. Apply it. Change your lifestyle to support your new personal truth. These are important things to do with spiking energies like this. It is the most important, because if you sleep on this, you're just going to have to do it again next year. Like, yeah, I don't know how to explain that, but it's just true. It is. It just will linger and it'll hang out. And from now until next year, a physical thing will appear because of that neglected aha mental moment. A physical thing will appear on your body, in your reality, in some way that's not really what you want because you ignored it. So this can look like gained weight. It can look like ailments. It can look like illness. It can look like disease, you know? Yeah, it's true. If you don't work with the unseen and bring it into the tangible reality to existence, it will decide on its own how to come into existence. I don't know about you, but I'm not really a fan of that one. I'm not really a fan of anybody just doing something to me, right? Take control now. I made a video, like one of my first TikTok videos, like years ago, like when I got TikTok like 4 years ago. It said, ground a little bit every day, or else life will find a way to ground you. So it was like, the first one was like me sitting all meditative in the grass, and it was like, ground a little bit a day, or life will find a way to ground you. And then my face was just face planted on the ground, and I looked really uncomfortable. Right, because if you don't take control of these aspects of your life now, they will take control over you. And then then it's even harder. It is. Then it's even harder to get back up and going, because then you're distracted from that aha moment. You're not even thinking about that aha moment anymore. Now you're just all wrapped up in the physical ailment that you've manifested based off of the suppression and lack of tangibility. So, integration time, friends. Get in the comments. Like, if you've been having aha moments or just like new thoughts or whatever, put them down. Take this opportunity. Just type them out right now. Or write them in a journal or whatever. But like, sometimes I like when I see a post like that, that's like inspiring you to do something like that, to jot down or journal or do a gratitude list or something like that. I do it right then and there. Like, why not? Once again, tool. Use the tools. You're already using one right now. Utilize it. Awesome. Cool. I got some things to do. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. It feels serious, right? It just does. The last couple days is just like serious, like, because I don't want to miss this opportunity, man. I don't want to stagnate through life anymore. You know, I'm recognizing in myself the opportunities for change and transmutation and evolution and transition, and you know, I'm bouncing on them. It feels like it did it feels like it did again when the first summer that I was called to quit cigarettes and a couple other self-harming habits. It feels like that summer. And that summer, it was like, I couldn't get enough. I was like, all right, what do you want me to quit next? What do you want me to give up next? What do I have to apply next? And I haven't really felt that intensity of energy for the last like 3 or 4 years. Now it's here again. It's here. The cycle has returned. This is a huge opportunity to radically change your life. And get into it. Even though it feels uncomfy, there's like this excitement and like attach to the excitement, and that will help retrain those neural pathways that are sitting in that repetition comfort zone. All right, talk to you tomorrow. See ya.